Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? This is
We hope
JG, the lovely Miss.
Tenisha Mercer. Hey, JG, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. As you can see, I'm back on the road. So,
Okay.
driving through the country and the country part of Georgia and Tennessee. But enough of that. We got a bunch of stuff to cover today. So, what we got on the docket, Miss Mercer?
Well, we got a lot of stuff. It's going to be a heavy Trump day. I will warn viewers right now. We talking mainly Trump news today, but we want to get started. Before we get started with all of that, we want to first talk about, we cover a lot of things here, right? We
Yeah.
cover politics, we cover business, we cover funny stuff, we cover crime. We also got a little celebrity kind of gossip stuff going on. In that we're talking about celebrity or child actress Jurnee Smollett. Do you
Former,
remember her
former,
and her brother? Do you remember her?
former actress.
I'm sorry.
She's a former. Now she's an adult.
She is former.
Former.
You're right. Former child star, right? Jurnee
Yes.
Smollett. She's got um acting credits. She's been in a lot of things as an adult, so I don't want to take away from that. But
She,
definitely
her acting credits goes as far as I want to say Al Capone's arrest record.
wow.
She's got a lot of acting credits.
A lot of acting credits, right? You say her acting credits longer than a CBS receipt. Okay, okay. Um, she definitely has a lot of acting experience, and the crazy part is that her estranged husband, who she is getting divorced from, he wants some of that money that she has been earning since she was 3 years old. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I've got this story to pull up for you all.
Even after receiving nearly $1 million from
I'm
their
sorry, hold on. Let
2021
me rewind.
divorce settlement,
Okay, sorry.
Josiah Bell is now going after her retirement and 401k. Even after receiving nearly $1 million from their 2021 divorce settlement plus $7,000 a month in alimony and child support. Now he wants the money she's been saving since childhood. How is this even allowed? We'll be keeping an eye on this drama, so hit subscribe for more wild updates.
Did you hear that?
I heard that, and he's a fuckboy.
Mm, it's a lot of money.
If you ever come across this podcast, I'm gonna tell you right now, your ex-husband is a fuckboy for trying to come for your money that you've been earning since you were 3 years old. Period. There's no other way to describe him. That's the father of your kids. He's a fuckboy, and he needs to go to prison and get fucked in the ass because that's exactly what he is. He's a fuckboy.
Oh wow. Oh, you got some harsh words for him. Now they were married. They were married since what 2010, right? They've been married for a while.
Yes.
They've got one, I think one child, I believe.
Two. I believe it's two.
It's two. Okay, my bad. Two children. Okay. So he's not only looking, I mean, so he's getting, old boy is getting all this money per month as part of the divorce settlement, and he wants to go after her 401k and her SAG pension, which um, she's been acting since she was what 3 years old.
3 years old, and she started getting the SAG-AFTRA 401k. She's been eligible since she was 5 years old.
Wow, wow.
Ain't no way a 5-year old is thinking about no damn rotten, stinking ass boy at 5 years old. I'm sorry, I'm a girl dad, y'all. I'm also a boy dad, but I'm a girl dad too. So ain't no way a little girl is thinking about a 5-year-old boy, 20 years or 40 years or how many years? 30, she's probably closing on 40. So let's just say 35 in the future. She ain't thinking about no ninja like that.
So the question that I have though is that was there a prenup involved? Because if there were a prenup involved, we wouldn't even probably be having this conversation.
I hope there was, but I would think that the court of common sense would say this is all money earned before she was married. And the fact that they settled at $1 million plus $7,000 per month in child support, which is what? How much is? That's what 85 or 83,000.
Like, yeah, like that's like 80, like almost $85,000 a year.
And she gave him $1 million. What kind? That's $1.8 million that this joker has in terms of his settlement, right? And that's just moving forward until he gets remarried, which he's a lazy. It look like he's. The point I'm trying to make, God, that she earned her money. They settled. Ain't no way that shit should be left out the court. Like, dude, you settled. That's her money that she made before she met you. That's the money that she's gonna have after you. If you wanted that money so bad, or you wanted the continuance of this money so bad, you should have stayed. You should have acted right, did right by your wife, or whatever the case may have been, and stayed with her.
I mean, yeah, we can talk, but that's the thing. We can talk about the court of common sense, like you said, but then it's like what can you prove and what can you get legally, right? I just need everybody, like if you are an actress, entertainer, whatever you are, whatever you're doing, to protect yourself with the prenup. We need a law firm sponsor. We really do. Any divorce attorneys out there who want to sponsor us, because listen, folks you need a prenup. And I don't, number one, I don't know what dude does. I don't know what he does professionally. We don't know
professional. Because if he's if he's homie homemaker, then okay, you choosing to be homie homemaker. If you have a job and Jurnee Smollett is your wife, and nobody really knows your name, you can actually have a career outside of Hollywood or whatever you want to do and have a normal life. She can't have a normal life. She's been in front of that camera since she was 3 years old and constantly working. I remember seeing her on not Family Matters, the other one, Full House.
Okay.
She was Michelle. She was the character named Michelle Tanner's best friend. That's how long I've seen her on TV. We all been watching. If you watch Full House, if you watch the Smolletts, you've seen her grow up. She disappeared for a minute, but we watched her grow up in front of our eyes. So we have some kind of connection to her, and not to this dude.
I mean, this is true. And I mean, like I said, to be fair, we don't know exactly what he does or what his profession is, and we don't know what their arrangement was. But
half of money from childhood, he's a bum.
It would seem that if he were a stay-at-home dad, for example, you could argue that $1 million that he's getting, or whatever, that with the child support and the millions he's getting, that will cover that. The question becomes, then you got the pension and the 401k, which was earned before the marriage, right?
Right.
Was earned when she was a child.
That was earned from when she was a child. You guys, let me adjust 1 second, Tenisha. If you got anything to say, what you got to say, you adjust so I can get my headset on. Because now I'm starting to have
no problem. Okay, no problem. We'll keep on talking about it. But yeah, Jurnee Smollett, she is in a pretty nasty divorce battle right now with her soon-to-be ex-husband. And we're talking about, a lot of money that is at stake. As I mentioned earlier, if you are in a certain tax bracket, and even if you're not in a certain tax bracket, you don't have to be an entertainer to have this happen to you. You good?
All right, Tenisha. I'm sorry. I'm almost back. All right, you keep saying soon-to-be ex-husband. They already divorced.
Are they already divorced? Oh, my bad. So wait a minute.
Yes.
So what is this? Is this
they divorced in 2001? Yes, this is him going back. That's why I say he's a fuck boy.
Oh, okay. See, I thought they were not yet divorced. So he's basically going back because isn't she in the Tyler Perry show now?
I hope not.
Um
But she
no, 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 she's in a Tyler Perry drama, I think. Let me look. Hold on. Let me look. I think I guess the whole thing about it is she's working more. So is that
she's
what
been
the
working a
divorce?
lot.
Okay.
She's been working a lot since the Great Debaters, and before that, when she turned into a young woman, I'd barely seen her, you know,
Hmm.
but her most of her adult roles has been coming since after two. I want to say after 2010. That's when you started seeing her more, and then with that Tyler Perry Temptation movie, it kind of
Hmm.
solidified her as an adult because even though she still looks young as hell, it still solidified her into more adult roles where she can actually be more of a grown woman in a lot of stuff. Like she was even in the Birds of Prey movie with Margot Robbie,
Okay.
so and she was what's her name? She echoed. I forgot her superhero name. Siren. She was Siren. So
Okay.
she was in that movie, and that was her comic book movie. And she has plenty more projects coming up.
Right.
So and in between that, so she was also in that the one that made Jonathan Majors famous, that TV show they only did one season of, and that was a good ass show. I
Okay.
can't think of the
Okay.
name of that one, but it was produced by Jordan Peele. Jonathan Majors was in that. So the point I'm trying to make is she's been working heavy, and to see this happen, it's like what happened to Mary J. Blige and her husband, her
Right.
ex-husband.
Can
And to
do.
me, I'm like, you got to be careful. Now, I hope they understand who they're marrying, male and female. You have to be careful because some people are just fuckboys.
Right. And people switch up on you. Let me clarify this. Let me clarify some things I said earlier. So it looks like so he's seeking half of her retirement savings, right?
Yes.
The thing is he's requesting 50% of the funds she accrued during the marriage. So from 2010 to 2019. So those retirement funds, that's what he's looking, it's matching with the marriage, right? It
Mm-hmm.
coincides with the marriage. And that's going to be a part of California's community property laws, right? Which
Okay.
require marital assets to be divided equally in a divorce. Now the court, I'm reading here from Yahoo News. Let me credit them,
Okay.
okay? The court has ordered where did it go? The court has ordered Smollett's the 401k plan administrator to transfer half of the account balance accumulated during those years to her ex-husband. If the ruling stands, he will gain access to a substantial portion of the savings that she has built over the course of her career.
Okay.
Now, so yeah, the thing is that and it's saying here that legal experts have pointed out that while California law classifies assets earned during the marriage as community property, Smollett's pension and 401k extend far beyond the years she was married to Bell. So it's a whole question of can he get the piece from 2010 to 2019, or is that piece too large, right? Too large
It's
of a
too
piece.
large. In my opinion, it's too large. In the facts, he should only get 2010 to 2019 when they were together.
Together when
That
they
is
were together.
understandable, and that is. But when you start talking about going into, it goes back to a childhood, you're fucking her.
Yeah, because they're saying that basically like what you said earlier in the show, that it's unfair for him to receive additional financial benefits after already being awarded significant payments, right? So
Correct.
he's already gotten like 1 million, right? And
Yep.
it's a lot going on here.
If
It's
if I was married to Jurnee Smollett and she decides to leave me and they're giving me 1 million plus 80,000, I'm good.
right.
I'm good. I'm good. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna miss having sex with you, but I'm good. I'm
Lord have
I'm gonna miss
mercy.
going out to dinner with you. I'm good. I'm gonna miss a lot of our relationship, but
Relationship.
financially, I'm good.
The
You know
crazy
what
thing
I'm saying?
about this, I definitely understand what you're saying. The crazy thing about this, they're saying this could set a precedent, okay, for
Mm-hmm.
future disputes over retirement savings and high profile divorces, right? Because these actors and actresses, they began working at a very early age.
Some
Journey is
did.
a lot, but a lot do. You think about like Gary Coleman, Webster, Todd
Yes.
Bridges. You think about a lot of those people, they began working very, Keisha Knight Pulliam, they began working
Yes.
very early, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, people are going to be closely watching this because, the question becomes, will she file an appeal or will she be required to comply with the court decision? Because the court has ruled in his favor.
Even though Kevin Costner is not a brother, he's still a brother to me. He's a light skinned brother. So I want to say a cautionary tale. Kevin Costner's second wife, right? She
Hmm.
is trying to get more than what she has put in. I think she has maybe one or two kids. The settlement was 30 mil plus $20,000 a month. $20,000 per month plus 30 mil. And this heifer wants more. And
Okay.
she was prenupped.
Yeah, you got to be careful, even with the prenup, right? Even with
Yes.
that prenup, because he had a first marriage, right? That went,
Oh, she took half.
and so I think the second marriage, he was like, I need to be careful, right?
Yeah,
Right.
because the first marriage he messed up and she got half, but it was like okay, she was with me from the beginning, but he messed up. The second
Right.
marriage is like you're with you know what time it is. You know what time it is, especially when there's a big age gap. And you
Right.
you sitting there watching him as a little girl, and you got to be a grown woman, and all of a sudden you're in a romantic relationship with this man. You know what time it is. The man knows what time it is. It's about the money. It's not about you in love with this man. You infatuated with this man. It's about the money.
But is everybody? But listen, though, my question is always: is everybody agreeing to the terms of the arrangement? Because even like with Anna Nicole Smith back in the day, right? That man
Yes.
was 90 in a wheelchair. He had a foot in the grave. Okay,
Uh huh.
so I know the son did challenge it, right? But
Yes.
are these the terms of the arrangement? People
She
have
was
terms with.
openly honest about. Anna Nicole Smith did not hide what was going on. She was openly honest. This man was head over heels for her, and he paid for her.
Right.
He took her out of whatever situation she was in, and she
Hmm.
was grateful for that. Yes, there was a big age gap. Yes, da 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 da. But at the end of the day, that's what that man chose at his age and his rightful mind. So the kids was just upset. They probably grew up spoiled as hell and rotten, and he probably was just like, man, fuck them kids. They gonna get an inheritance, but I'll make sure this woman's straight. But
I mean, she had the baby. She got the baby, right? She had the baby,
she has a baby.
right? I'm just
Yes.
like, well, did they? Listen here. I don't know how. I don't want to think about how that happened, but yeah, they got the baby. She got the baby. That child is set. Anna Nicole Smith has, she's passed away, right? But yeah,
Yes.
that little girl is not ever going to have anything to worry about. But the son definitely did fight it. So what do you do? What do you do if you're? It's hard because what do you do if your parent or loved one, maybe your grandmother, they got a little bit of coins, maybe not Anna Nicole Smith's husband money, but they still have coins. What do you do
Mm-hmm.
when they everybody wants companionship. I mean, not everybody, but most people do. A lot of people do. So what do you do when that family member who's older and they get with somebody with a very large age difference and money is a part of that?
Mind your business.
Just to
That's
mind your
exactly
business.
what you do. Just mind your business. Just go up to that father or that mom and say, "Am my inheritance still intact?" And if they tell you yes, can you show me tomorrow? And they show you, mind your damn business. As long as your
What
shit
if
intact, you fine.
what if your stuff is not intact?
Then you
What if
make sure it gets back intact.
it,
You make
you
sure it gets back. Ma, this ain't your nope. You get with that lawyer. That's when you get that injunction. That's when you fight it when they're alive. You fight it when they're alive. You don't sit there and try to fight it when they're dead and they can't defend what's going on.
right.
You just make
Man.
sure your inheritance is intact. You talk to them. You talk to that lawyer. Was anything changed as far as you know? Because you still love your parent. If you still love your parent, you're going to love them, right? If you just hate
Yeah.
them, then that's on you. But if you love them, you're going to make sure that they're straight. That as soon as they're, saying they're not in the poorhouse and this person runs off, right?
Right.
So, but also, if you grew up in that kind of lifestyle, you want to make sure that you're going to do everything to make sure that lifestyle sticks with you. So,
Right.
by doing that, you're going to holler at them like, you just holler at them like, hey, am I straight? Am I still good? Because I'm going to go down to the lawyer tomorrow. I'm going to go down to the law office and find out. And if you go down to the law office every day because you ain't working and you straight,
Hmm.
then you straight. Because you want to make sure ain't no change has been done. Because as soon as the change been done, then you got to notify that parent like, hey, this is what's going on.
Right.
And hope to
Right.
God they're not so blindly in love they can't see what's going on.
But
Just,
stranger things have happened. People have gotten into all types of romance scams and all of that, and their little money is gone. Their money is
yes.
gone. Their money is
Yes.
gone. Their 401k, their pension is over and done with. And a lot of times, the kids are the ones who have to help pay, right? Because
Yes.
if your
Yes.
mama has her life savings set aside and she meets her little boo on Tinder or whatever, right? Or Bumble.
Millionaire tender. Millionaire bumble. Millionaire tender.
Exactly. And he talking about he needs some money and she sends it. And it goes both ways. It can be the woman asking the man or the man
Yes.
asking the woman, right? And
Yes.
that little fortune, that whatever little money they had set aside for their old age, it's gone, it's wiped out.
And that's a
You don't
sad
have
thing. And
any.
there's been plenty of cases of that, and that's a sad thing.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
is.
so Jurnee Smollett, the moral of the story is we're sorry this happened to you,
Yeah.
and we hope whoever that you find, you prenup the hell out of that mother sucker, okay? And you make sure they have a job and they keep their job. The minute you don't even marry them quite right away, just date them, and if they're dating, they move in with you and they quit their job, kick their ass out. It's cheaper to the
Right.
victim than it is to divorce them.
Right.
All
This is
right.
true. This is true. And that's gonna be the end of that, right? This is
Hey,
true.
yeah, that's the end of the hell. To be honest, I'll lose 100 pounds for you. I don't need your money, shorty. I got my own.
Right.
But anyway, let's move
Yeah.
on. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's talk about our favorite person, right? We know who that is, our favorite person.
John
So
Donald Jebediah Trump, the
exactly. Let's see what
the
he's
blood
what
pressure
he's doing.
raiser. All right, what you got?
Exactly. Let's see what he's doing. Let's listen to what Rachel Maddow says he's doing, what he's up to.
And this already is quite the theme. They are trying all sorts of incredibly reckless, incredibly expensive, incredibly ill-advised things. And then those things fail because they can't work or because they can't handle the pushback against them, or they face lawsuits and court orders because these things are obviously illegal, or they're just too stupid to live. And so then they stop doing these things and they cave and they try to pretend they weren't doing them at all. We're only 6 weeks in, and we're already seeing this for military flights for deportations and sending immigrants to Guantanamo for some reason, right? Those things already appear to be over as of today. Also, this one today. Headline, Trump agency pulls 443 sites off market in real estate reversal. Real estate reversal? What? This is from Bloomberg News. Quote, at 2 p.m. Tuesday, so yesterday, the GSA posted a list of 443 properties it was considering for sale, an inventory that ranged from a toll booth in El Paso to the FDA's research campus in Silver Spring, Maryland. Trump tried to fire the chief of the Merit Systems Protection Board. A court ordered her reinstated. Today, that Merit Systems Protection Board ordered the reinstatement of more than 5,000 people who work for the USDA, for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. 5,000 people who were illegally mass fired by Trump. Those more than 5,000 people must now be reinstated for at least the next 45 days. That ruling comes after Trump tried to fire another person he's not allowed to fire, Hampton Dellinger, who heads up the federal office that oversees whistleblower protections and civil service protections. Trump tried to fire him too. That is apparently illegal. Dellinger has fought it vociferously in the courts, including one trip already to the Supreme Court, and it looks like another trip to the Supreme Court is probably on the way. But in the meantime, while he has been reinstated, he told the Merit Systems Protection Board to weigh in on the mass firings at USDA, which appeared to be blatantly illegal. That board did weigh in on them. They had to fight their own firings along the way to get there, but they fought them, and now those more than 5,000 workers at USDA must be reinstated.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. So what
Trump
do you
is
think?
firing. He's firing people that can that can fight him back. So his thing, he's treating America like we discussed yesterday, like it's The Apprentice. If you notice, like she said, the deportations has ramped down, right? Because what he was doing to make it look like he's working was the cameras, okay? That whole Dr. Phil and all that stunt stuff he was doing, that was for the cameras, so his constituents could say, yeah, Trump, he's deporting these guys. He's doing his job. He's doing what he says he's going to do. But look at the numbers. The number shows that he's deported far less than Biden. And once again, the deporter-in-chief, Mr. Barack Obama, President Obama, he's deported way less than these guys. So Trump is a DEI president, to be honest with you. He can't even do that damn thing right. You heard me?
It's crazy right now. It's all,
yes.
I could barely hear you. What did you say now?
No, I said Trump is a DEI president. He's a DEI president. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yes, he's a DEI president. And he can't barely do.
He's a DEI hire.
He's a DEI hire, or yeah, basically, and he can't even do the basic format of deportation right.
I mean, what's crazy to me is all of these illegal firings, right? Like going through the Supreme Court. It's insane.
Yes. Yes, and
everything
the firing.
A lot of the things he's doing is illegal.
Remember, so OPM is Office of Personnel Management. Okay, they are the ones that run your FBI backgrounds and all that stuff that you need done. They're the ones that get you set up in the system that the agencies send the paperwork to get you set up in the system, and then if you're fired or you quit or resign or whatever the case may be, they're the ones that extract you from the system, okay? For the federal government, data board and all that stuff. OPM is really this, I want to say they're not really a HR, they're more so like an HR agency, but they don't hire and fire people. You can go, they'll hire, only time they hire is you're going to work for that agency itself. So the point I want to make is Trump was trying to use that like that's his HR, and that's not their job and role.
Mm.
And to
Yeah.
fire CIA agents, do you know? Okay, I know Hollywood glamorized CIA and field agents and all that stuff, right? Tell on even though they're supposed to not have U.S. jurisdiction, this jurisdiction in the U.S. Okay, that's what
Okay.
NSA is for, National Security Agency. Okay, and FBI and all of them work together. All right. If I get these people who can see what I'm doing overseas out of my way, nobody can really stop me. Everything Trump has been doing with the whole dictatorship stuff and all that stuff is to line up, like I said before, and I'm going to say it 1,000 times, it's to line up his family's pocket. It's to line up the billionaires' pockets. It's to make use of what he has to better him and not the United States. So if it means isolating us from Canada, Mexico, our biggest allies who have their own personal intel agents, agencies that can cooperate with the United States on certain levels, I want to alienate them with these trade wars, because these trade wars is going to make them pissed off at us Americans, to the point where they don't want to work with us, and I could do what I want to do.
Right.
I can fulfill my goal of being a dictator. That's his whole game plan. It's just, and then he aligns himself with Putin to say, "Hey, with Russia, with love, coming to the United States."
Wow.
And
It's yeah. It's
80,000 veterans, VA employees, 80,000 VA employees. I can't give the actual number, but let's just say there's over 300 VA employees in major cities, and that's included in the hospitals, right?
right.
Major cities, major cities. The bigger the population, the more you need, because the veteran population is larger. How many veterans voted for Trump is quite amazing. It's going to be a lot. You'll be surprised, guys, because people forget their oath that they make to the Constitution. And a lot of these veterans that voted for Trump probably works at the VA. And they said there's over 10,000 veterans that works at the VA. Over 10,000. So let's just put a good number of 60% of those veterans voted for Trump. They voted for their own demise. I don't feel sorry for you. I only feel sorry for the ones that got caught up in your bullshit.
Yeah. A lot of people are getting caught up because speaking of VA, right? There are a proposed 80,000 job cuts proposed across the VA. Let's talk about some of these federal cuts. We've got cuts that may be happening or that are proposed with the IRS and the VA. Let's pull this up, talk about it.
We're learning the Trump administration is planning to cut 80,000 employees from Veterans Affairs. This just into our newsroom. And here's what we know right now. The Department of Veterans Affairs is planning an aggressive reorganization that includes cutting 80,000 jobs from the agency that provides health care for retired military members. This is all according to an internal memo. The VA's chief of staff told top-level officials at the agency that it had an objective to cut enough employees to return to 2019 staffing levels of just under 400,000. That would require terminating tens of thousands of employees after the VA expanded during the Biden administration, as well as to cover veterans impacted by burn pits under the 2022 PACT Act. The memo instructs top-level staff to prepare for an agency-wide reorganization.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. A lot of people.
That's
cut.
a lot of people. That means that a lot of claims are going to go slow down. You remember when people was like complaining about these claims that was coming in and they had to wait 2-3 years and all this other stuff. So let me speak, okay, if you don't mind, let me speak from my personal experience, right? When I got out of the service and I had physical issues, okay, as well as mental. Because I'm an Iraq War veteran, guys. I am an actual combat veteran. Okay. I went to the VA in November. I put in for, the pain I was having, By June, July, I got my ratings, and then I got my payment. It took them, I want to say, about a good so November, whatever. So June, July, I said about 10 months almost. I got seen during the process, went through the process and everything. After me, and I went to work at the VA a year or two later. After me, it started taking a little bit longer because more veterans was coming back after the war. More veterans had more injuries, more XYZ. So the process was taking longer because you have, let's just say you have 100,000 veterans that's released from active duty every 90 days. Every 90 days. That is a lot of new claims that's going to be coming in. A lot of new claims. Now, this is not really peacetime. This is more so like a hybrid time. We are doing security forces in Poland. We got security forces in the European theater, right? So what's going on now is they might come across, you might have some new claims coming in. And then you got the 9/11 burn pits. That shit was real. That burning of the shit. I smelt that mother sucker. And I know a couple of people that has diseases, not cancer, but diseases that was caused by that burn pit burning. Imagine being the person that actually got to burn that. Human waste and feces.
Right.
And you expect them not to be okay 20 years later? That's like 9/11 survivors, first responders who were hurt by 9/11. And you expect them to be okay 20 years later, and they're dying from cancer. They're dying from lung diseases and all types of stuff. Like, come on. And then you're cutting 80,000 people who was hired just for this in particular to help those cases move along and other cases. We're going to go back to where, why are the Veteran Affairs not doing this? Why the Veteran Affairs not doing that? Because of who you voted for. The stupidity that you voted for.
Exactly. Exactly. And here's another one that's going to affect all Americans, whether you are, it's going to affect everybody. Everybody who files income taxes is going to affect. Let's look at this one. This talks about cuts to the IRS.
Most of those cuts will be.
Meanwhile, there's another round of federal job cuts on the way.
Yeah, this time to the IRS. Most of those cuts will be probationary workers. Erica Brown has more details from the White House.
President Trump and advisor Elon Musk are targeting the IRS for their Department of Government Efficiency's next round of layoffs. More than 6,000 IRS employees are expected to receive termination notices by the end of the week.
We're studying every agency and deciding who to let go and why. And we're doing so very rationally with a lot of support from analysis.
Musk, who is set to speak at the Conservative Political Action Committee conference Thursday, claims the cuts are saving taxpayers billions.
Already saving $50 billion.
I'm going to cut off.
Okay.
Year.
All right.
Hold on. I'm going to cut off here, but it's the cuts there are proposed even more than what was discussed on there, like 45,000 potentially. So it's a lot of cuts that could be happening, and that could impact every American. It's like, file your taxes now. If you have not filed, file and pray. File and pray.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. That's a massive amount. Both of those combined, if they go through, I mean, you got 80K at the VA, 45,000 at the IRS. That's a lot of people losing their jobs.
IRS is attached to the Department of Treasury, and the VA run their payments through the Department of Treasury.
Okay.
Everybody who gets paid from the federal government goes through the Department of Treasury. And I won't be surprised if he goes for their next.
Wow. Yeah. We just never know.
You never know with this clown.
We never
The
know.
orange man strikes again.
He has struck again. Oh,
So what are the French saying about Americans right now?
listen, they're saying a whole lot of stuff. Let me pull it up.
Relationship likely that does not involve the United States of America, as the Trump regime has pulled the United States of America into an axis of evil with Vladimir Putin of Russia and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, as well as Hungary and Belarus, voting against our NATO allies, attacking our allies like Canada and Mexico. It is utterly despicable. But French President Emmanuel Macron delivered an incredible speech to the people of France yesterday, where he talked about the new way forward. Let me share with you what French President Emmanuel Macron said. Here, play this clip.
The future of Europe does not have to be decided in Washington or Moscow. And yes, the threat is coming back from the East. And the innocence, in a way, of the last 30 years since the fall of the Berlin Wall is now over. In Brussels tomorrow, during the extraordinary council that will bring together the 27 heads of state and government with the Commission and the President of the Council, we will take decisive steps. Several decisions will be made that France has been proposing for several years. Member states will be able to increase their military spending without this being counted in their deficit. Massive joint funding will be decided to buy and produce on European soil ammunition, tanks, weapons, and some of the most innovative equipment. I have asked the government to be mobilized so that, on the one hand, it strengthens our armies as quickly as possible, and on the other hand, it speeds up reindustrialization in all our regions. I will bring together with the relevant ministers the industry leaders in the sector in the coming days. The Europe of defense, which we have been advocating for 8 years, is therefore becoming a reality.
Powerful words right there. We had that of course.
Wow, what do you think about that?
France is not trying to get messed up like they did by the Nazis in World War II. They're trying to prevent that type of escalation to happen if Russia was to quote unquote defeat Ukraine, because they're not going to stop at their old USSR nations. Putin is driven by his Napoleon ego. So that's a smart move. And yes, turn your direction away from us because of Donald Trump. You're not even sure if you have an ally or enemy, and it will show itself. I did a post and nobody answered. So I did a post the other day saying, hey, if World War III broke out, what side would you fight on? And it probably went over their head not to think, like, you got United States of America who might end up being the enemy towards our allies. Right. And then you have the part where it's like, no, we're not going to fight with Putin. We're going to fight within to get whatever this crap is that we're under out, right? But nobody answered because I guess they just don't understand the question. It's probably like, man, what this man talking about? But you got to really look into the question. And France looked into the question when they probably sat down and asked themselves, what side are we going to fight on? Are we going to fight on the side that's right, which is Ukraine? Or are we going to stay with the side that's wrong, which is America right now? They're on the side of rights right now. And until America could do what it needs to do to get rid of this wrong, we're by ourselves. We're going to be left vulnerable. Because what happens is if Russia decides to attack us, or North Korea, let's not even say Russia. Let's just say North Korea decides to attack us. Canada is not going to help us. Right. Unless a missile goes into their area. That's when they'll probably be perceived to, but there's not going to be a let's help America, because England and the rest of the world is going to help them. So it's one of those situations where I don't blame President Macron for saying, or Prime Minister or President, I'm sorry, I don't know. But either or is still the same thing, right? I don't blame him for saying, hey, let's go to our plan B, because I'm sure this plan was implemented during the first Trump presidency. Or after the first Trump presidency, just in case we got some kind of nutcase. Because he said it was a few years ago, so it must have been implemented when Trump was trying to run for re-election the first time.
Right. Zelensky did not, that whole situation did not help things. I think he went back and it was embarrassing. And so I think he went back and was just like, and he did. He went back and had a meeting with other EU leaders because it's like, okay, what's next? What's going on? What are we doing?
Zelensky might be only 5'8", 5'9", but he's 6'9" against Trump.
Exactly. He's 10 Ukrainian toes down. Okay.
He's 10 Ukrainian toes down and 10 feet taller.
Exactly. And we know how Trump feels about that, right?
Oh, he don't like it. So if you don't like it, change your behavior.
Yeah.
You can't change your behavior because a tiger can't change his stripes.
Exactly. But listen, but it's possible. Maybe the American public, maybe more, are getting fed up. Let's look at this little clip here.
About DOGE cuts, particularly those that have an impact on the jobs of military veterans.
What you're doing right now, what the government is doing right now, as far as cutting out those jobs, a huge percentage of those people, and I know you care about the veterans, are veterans.
Yes.
And that is a damn shame.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a damn shame.
I'm not a Democrat, but I'm worried about the veterans, man.
Well, I yielded to one of my elders, and I appreciate his comments. I think it's a great. I'm not gonna. We don't have time for everyone to stand up. I do got 2 more commitments today. Appreciate everybody making the drive out, and God bless America. Thank you.
He did not answer that question.
We're gonna take pictures with you, buddy, right?
In a statement to local news, Marshall.
He did not answer. You saw how he did it? He was like, I gotta go, and peace out to my elders, but I gotta go.
He was like, time for responsibility and accountability. Time to go.
Right. Oh man.
That guy that sat there and talking about, I'm not a Democrat, but I worry about the veterans. If you worried about us, you should have voted the other side.
Yeah.
Don't give me that patriotic. I want to be patriotic now crap, because it's like at the end of the day, this man told you who he was, and that's what you wanted, and now you see you don't want it. Now I'm worried about it. You weren't worried about us. You were not worried about us in your decision when you had your 10 feet in that booth, your 10 toes in that booth. Excuse me.
Right. Exactly. It's kind of wild. Let's go to one more story. This is like the last one of the day, but this is a pretty sad story, actually. It involves, so I'll tell our viewers firsthand, trigger warning if this is definitely an act of violence against a person and a child. So be cautious and be careful. I'm going to play this now.
It's suspected of shooting a man and his 5-year-old daughter in Forest Hill. Police just released their photos and tell us Adonis Robinson and Jacoby Russell are considered armed and dangerous. Investigators say they were involved in Monday's shooting at Slappy's Car Wash. Ronnie Sibley was a rapper known in the local music community as G Money Lil Ronnie, and video shows him trying to get away while being shot at. Sibley's daughter Ramani was in the car and was also killed.
Yeah,
2 men are on the run this afternoon, suspected of shooting a man.
Yeah, that's just a really sad story, because a little girl, a father and a little girl lost their lives, right? A local rapper. It's not good news at all.
I want you to, if I say something, I want to make sure I formulate the right words to say, because I don't want to say anything to tell people, hey, get rid of this guy. But I got to speak my truth, okay? But I'd rather you go first.
Okay. You'd rather me go first?
Yes.
About Trump or about you're saying
No,
this
about the
particular guy?
situation. That situation. That
Oh,
situation right
okay,
there.
okay. I mean, I just think that, like I said, I think it's really sad, especially a child was killed. It's sad when anyone gets killed, but a child was killed. And so it's just an act of senseless violence. And what's going to happen? These two guys are going to go to jail. What's? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now, what do you think, Jay?
So I've never heard this guy before. I never heard his music, and I'm put into his music. If he's talking about killing the ops and this and that and that, you brought it onto yourself. What you put into the universe always comes back to haunt you, right? Tupac talks about death until he got killed. Biggie Small talked about this, okay? And unfortunately, your innocent daughter got killed because of whatever lyrics that you were putting out there. If you're putting out positive music, you don't become a target to nobody. You shouldn't be a target to nobody because you're putting out positive energy. And the way the universe works is negative and negative equals positive, because that's what algebra tells you, right? But the universe is like, here's the positive outcome. This is what happens when you put too much negativity in. Oh shit. Slow down, John. Slow down. Damn. A state trooper was sitting there and I was over 80.
Oh, okay. Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Slow down. Listen. Yeah, but no, this rapper
it's sad. It's sad. Whew, it's sad.
And I'm trying to see.
Let me just finish real fast. What I want to say is this kid didn't deserve this. That child didn't deserve it at all. I'm not saying the guy deserved it himself, but your music puts out that type of energy. Period. And what I was trying to say about the negative equal positive, the positive is stop going down this road. Stop thinking that I need to be a gangster to be a hip-hop artist, because all you're doing is creating a negative energy that's going to come back and get you. Positive and positive doesn't equals negative at all. It just adds on, right? You can always say a negative and positive. Here's the negative. You're a negative lyrical rapper. The positive, you're making money. The negative is more bigger than the positive. So what's going to happen? Negative overtakes. Now you're a dead rapper.
No, I think, let me say this. I'm looking now. I'm doing a little research now. And I don't think he was like a drill rapper or anything, because what they're saying is that his family is saying he had no known enemies that she knew of. And she's quoted as saying he was a good kid. He didn't bother nobody, end quote. Now, he had 40,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. His highest streaming track was called Hood Fame Killuminati. Okay. A collab with Go Yayo. Right? So
Go Yayo. Hold on. His name is what? Go Yayo?
He had a collab with Go Yayo in 2018.
Go Yayo. Well, no disrespect to Go Yayo, but the name Yayo is drugs in Spanish.
Right.
It's cocaine. So that's already a negative right there.
It is.
Do you see what I'm saying now?
Yeah. I just wanted to be, just to kind of look and see what type of music he was. Because was this?
Yeah.
Because this is more than just jail time. It's a capital murder warrant for these two. I didn't know if could it be jealousy? Could it be they just, could it be a random thing? Could it be a known thing? Could it have nothing to do with the rap music? Like, it's just kind of like, what's going on?
Sometimes my little cousin put me on to some rappers down in Jacksonville, and one was because he had did a whole song on his op's grave.
Oh,
and
okay.
They got him. Remember that Jacksonville rapper that got murdered out in Tampa?
Yeah.
His ops got him because of that disrespect. So a lot of times it's egged on. A lot of times it's jealousy. Triple X extension. I didn't know about him. And then one of my coworkers at the time was telling me about him, and I was like, "Oh, he's the one that beat up his girlfriend." She's like, "No, the girl lied. The girl lied." I was like, "No, he beat up." And she's like, "No." And then when I started reading up on it, yeah, the girl lied, XYZ, and these guys chasing clout because of the jealousy of this young man, they went and killed him. He wasn't nothing like what they were trying to make him out to be. He was actually a positive rapper. He just had all these tattoos and all this stuff going on.
Okay.
So that's an example of jealousy. Young Dolph was perceived as one of the kings of his city from Memphis. Him and what's my man, OG, one that dated Angela Simmons, Yo Gotti.
Yeah.
Him and Yo Gotti. So that situation was tragic within itself. Because Young Dolph, I listened to one of his records. I was like, okay, Young Dolph is spitting but he still has some negative stuff going in the lyrics. But at the same time, it was like, okay, but he was trying to do a positive charge. I seen where he gave a lady his Lamborghini.
Okay.
And a few $1,000s. So I was like, oh, that's dope of him. So he was taking his negative experiences into a positive, putting it on the record, and doing positive things outside of music. But he was cut down short because that negative caught up. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he deserved it.
Right.
He deserved to be here with his family. That's where he deserved to be, not no grave. But I don't know what he did in the streets. You and I don't know what he did in the streets. So that was more so jealousy.
Yes.
You can't stay. Unfortunately, it's a true history. As a black person, we the only people, if you get rich in the hood, you cannot stay in the hood. You can't even go back to the hood as much as you want to. That's why you got people like Jay-Z, Nas, and them. They have their non-profit programs because they really and truly just cannot go back to the hood without their security guard. They can't go to the hood for about an hour or two before somebody's really starting to plot. Like, yo, that nigga Jay, he here. We know Jay's a billionaire. They probably think he walking around with $1 million in his pocket. Yes, it's called his debit card or his black card.
Right. It's unfortunate. It really is. It's an unfortunate situation because, like you said, no one should lose their life over the music industry, right?
Yes, right.
It's unfortunate all the way around. So
that is sad, and I feel sorry for that little girl.
Episode. Anything else that you would like to add, JG?
I just want to finish up saying I do feel sorry for the family and that loss. If he was a good guy, you can my apologies. I don't know his music, and I'm just basing off of music the way music is these days. A lot of my favorite artists aren't dead. Okay, so something with these kids and the music, we need to change. From the time they hit puberty, we need to change it. We need to change their mentality, their thoughts. There's enough going on in the world right now, and we keep losing our young black men, and sometimes our young black women to the prison system and to the grave. It has to stop. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. I agree with you totally. Totally agree with you. So on that note, we will see you all tomorrow.
We'll see y'all tomorrow, guys. Y'all have a good one. Bye, Tenisha.
Bye. Be safe, okay? Don't be speeding either. Watch your speed.
I'm slowed down. I'm trying to. I can't hear you.
Okay.
What? All righty.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.